Hi, my name is Adam Appel, and my report is on the retail gasoline prices in the United States from April of 1993 to February of 2016. When observing the gasoline price breakdown, the price can be broken down into four separate categories, the biggest being crude oil, the second being government taxes, the third being refining, and the last being distribution and marketing. Gas price trends have been following interesting movement in the past couple of years, and the biggest one to consider is the fall in crude oil prices. Oil prices have been falling in recent years for several reasons, and members of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, commonly known as OPEC, have refused to cut production and instead have pushed it to the highest levels in years. Overall, Government Energy expects crude oil prices to continue to fall through 2016. An increase in domestic production also affects the gas price trends, especially in recent years. Domestic oil production has increased every year since 2008, which has pushed the U.S. crude oil stockpiles to their highest levels in many years. Meanwhile, American refineries are buying fewer and fewer barrels of more expensive foreign crude oil. There have also been no major recent disasters that have greatly affected the United States. The Gulf of Mexico is home to some of the most promising oil fields in the world. It is also very vulnerable to hurricanes. But the region hasn't seen much hurricane activity in a while, and that has contributed to the decline in gasoline prices you may have noticed in the past year. Believe it or not, there are many different types of recipes for making gasoline. Due to varying state and local regulations, a local pump most likely sells a different blend of gas than pumps in other states. There are also seasonal varieties, being summer gasoline and winter gasoline. Winter gasoline is generally cheaper than summer gasoline. Applying this to a business scenario, I decided to choose the company Amazon to analyze and use the forecasting methods to find a way that this analysis can benefit Amazon as a company. My original data was taken from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, and I gathered 275 observations over the course of 23 years, going every month, starting from April 1993 and going to January of 2016. My first forecasting method was linear forecasting, and this proved to be my most failed attempt or most incorrect forecasting method that I used in my project. It had a mean average percent error of 13.81%, and the line as seen in the chart does not seem to accurately depict or follow the trends of the gasoline prices over the past 23 years. From there, I moved to seasonal forecasting in that I have data from every month and I figured there would be some seasonality in the oil prices, especially considering winter gasoline is cheaper than summer gasoline. However, as seen on the chart and the black line that represents the seasonal forecast, this method was slightly more effective than the linear forecast, but is still, in my book, considered a failed attempt, as it does not accurately show and follow the trend of the actual gasoline prices over the past 23 years. From there, I moved to the 3-month moving average, and this was my first successful forecasting method, with a mean average percent error of just 3.37%. As you can see from the red line that represents the moving average, it accurately shows and reacts to the actual trend in gasoline prices and can prove to be a very valuable and effective forecasting tool. However, I wanted to go one step further and observed exponential smoothing of 0.6, and I found out that this was the most effective with the less error forecasting method. The exponential smoothing had a mean average percent error of just 2.79%, and as you can see on the chart, this method follows the actual data and the actual trends the most effectively. My two failed techniques, linear and seasonal forecasting, had the highest errors and the highest mean average percent errors as seen on the slide, and my successful techniques were by far more effective, having far less values in terms of the mean error, the mean squared error, the mean absolute deviation, and the mean average percent error. Applying this back to the business scenario, my recommendation for Amazon is that this is a fantastic opportunity to completely expand and grow as a company. This will reduce the need for external parties such as UPS and FedEx to perform the delivery service, and Amazon has the opportunity to start their own delivery service with such low gasoline prices. This will have a much lower cost to the company than it would have had in previous years, and there's a great opportunity to make much more profit and deliver an extra level of customer service.